कि आजकल के बच्चे Hey guys, good morning to you all. So, hope you are practicing UV unwrapping, the topic we are going through. So, just let me know how many of you are practicing UV unwrapping. Tell me how many of you.
सर मैंने ट्राई किया था
Hmm.
पर उसमें यूवी ग्रिड होती है ना वो विजिबल ही नहीं हो रही.
Okay, so today will you share that to me so that I can check?
ओके सर मैं अभी शेयर करूँ.
Yes, now also you can. Yes. So, guys, if you are facing some problem, you can just tell me.
सर ये सिगरेट बनाया था.
Right. In this, Vijay, the filter portion, no,
हाँ.
the proportion of the filter looking a little bit too small.
ओके.
It could be a little more.
ओके सर.
Hmm. Hmm.
सो सर व्यू पोर्ट में नहीं दिख रहा हूँ.
Okay. Just do one thing. Click on the object and press 6. Click on the object and press 6. Not happening. Vijay, I guess your screen is freeze. Vijay, your screen. I guess your screen is freezed. It can be my internet problem also, but I think your screen is freezed. Vijay, can you stop it and start once again presenting? If you can hear me. Vijay, are you there? No, I guess there is some problem in connectivity. He had some problem in connectivity. Okay. Anyone else, guys? If you are facing any problem, just let me know. Related to modeling or related to texturing, you are facing any problem, just let me know. Or if you have created anything, some models, some textures, you can show it to me. anything you have created or any problem. Nothing to show? Okay, or you just keep ready. At the end, you can tell me. I'll check. Okay, and this week, guys, 3 days, there is a possibility of a holiday. 3 days. Okay, because of the exam, final year exam. So all the faculties will be in invigilation for that. Okay, you will get a notice for that. If there is at all, you'll get a notice. Okay, then, guys, am I audible to all? Okay, fine. Then let us start. Is my screen visible to all of you? Is my screen visible, guys? Okay. So let us go to Maya. And today I plan to, once again, unwrapping is going on. Okay. Unwrapping will go on for a few more lectures. Okay. So, because unwrapping is a kind of subject like modeling, you need to practice through so many models. Then only you will be able to unwrap something. Okay, first, small models you should practice unwrapping, and then a little bit complicated model you should practice. So like that, if you are practicing so many models, you will have the confidence to unwrap anything. Okay, so let's open a random model to unwrap, and we'll check how to unwrap it. Okay, so a random model can be, let's take the hammer we created. If we want to unwrap this, okay, I just kept it. Okay, all right. Okay, this hammer I want to unwrap. Then how to unwrap it? Okay, guys. So first of all, can anybody guess what to do? Can anybody guess what we can do? Unwrapping this hammer. What do you think? Any guess? Come on, guys. What do you think? How to unwrap it? Any guess? Which mapping we are going to use? So what do you think? How to do it? Just analyze it. No one from the entire batch. Okay, so what I'm going to do at the very beginning is going to the UV editor. Going to the UV editor. Okay. And then what my intention is to keep the handle separately and keep the metal part separately. Okay. So how can we do that? So basically two, three different ways are there to do that. One thing we already know, that is, let's select the last stage over here, last loop rather, polygons, and cut UV edge, right? Let's go to display, polygon, and texture border edges. So I have given a cut in that area, you can see. Secondly, over here also, the last stage I can cut. So cut UV edge. Remember, I'm not cutting the model. I'm cutting only the UVs. So don't be confused in that. Now let's check UV shell. I'm going to select. So this is the entire bottom part. I think this is the easiest way to do this. Okay. And what can be the top part? So this is the top part. So the entire handle we have separated the UVs. Tell me guys, you understood this? You understood this? What I have done, how to separate it, you got it? Yes. So now, definitely, rest of the part will be this part, isn't it? Fine. Now, in this also, I can see this is a cylinder, this is a cube. So these are all different objects. So, modeling was very simple. But while doing the unwrapping, we need to think a lot for this. So what I'm doing, similarly, let's separate this cylinder. Selecting both polygons, cut UV edge and UV shell. So this one. Let's keep separate. Okay. Now similarly, this is another cylinder, keeping it separate. So while dealing a complicated object, you should deal like this. So convert it into small pieces of uh, primitives. Then there will be no problem. And this is the rest. This is another part. Okay, so I have divided like this. The handle, one cylinder over here, I can see. Another cylinder over here, I can see. And the metal part. Okay. Now, one by one, let's do the unwrapping. First, you have to analyze like this. One by one, you need to analyze. All right. So, at the very beginning, what we are going to do, let's select the handle. This part, just imagine you are having only this and you are going to unwrap this. So how you are going to do the unwrapping for this? So definitely this is a cylinder. So in a cylinder, what we have seen, The side we have to do cylindrical mapping, and the top and bottom we have to do planar mapping, isn't it? Can you remember that? So for this, what I'm going to do, let's select the last stage, circular edge, and cut UV edge, selecting the UV shell and keep it out. Can you see? First, I divided into primitives. Now, in that primitive, I am dividing into smaller shapes. How to do it? Over here also, selecting the loop, cut UV edge, and definitely this is also going to be another part of it. And now this portion is only the side faces, and you can see how much distorted it is. How much distorted it has been. Uh, it has been converted into some lines. Can you see some lines? So this object cannot be some lines. So much of distortion is there. So all the faces are selected. This is all right. And now you guys will tell me what kind of mapping should I use for this. Tell me. Yes, cylindrical mapping, correct. So keep this classroom very interactive. Okay. So I'm asking question, you also ask me question, and whatever question I'm asking, answer. Then it will be interesting for you also, for me also. Otherwise, it's very boring. Okay, so the side faces are selected. Now going to UV and cylindrical mapping. Now let's say better, much better, isn't it? So we have to do something. The scaling is still not correct, right? So coming to this mapping, and you can see, if you can see properly, can you see this manipulator? Okay, through this you can scale it actually. So from the viewport also, last day I showed how to do it in from the viewport, and from here also you can do it. So in this case, from here it will be easier for us. So let us check which side it is happening. So I'm doing the opposite side. Okay, so I'm keeping it like this, but from this side, let's make it a little bit smaller. Okay, so getting better checker boxes. So this UV alignment is fine to us. Okay, workable this is. Now, what about these two? You can see the distortion, right? So now selecting these two, the top and bottom. You people will tell me what kind of mapping should I use for this. Exactly, planar mapping, because those two are planes, right? So going to UV, going to planar mapping, and the camera projection is selected. Now this time I'm going to the top view because I'm going to project from the top, right? And project. So now let's check. Approximately fine, isn't it? I think a little. It is fine. Now what about this one? This is also looking fine. Okay. Only the problem is in scaling. So let us check the scaling.
सर प्लेनर मैपिंग में
Yes.
एक्स वाई जेड से भी किया तो चलेगा ना, मतलब मैंने
No, in planar mapping, you will not get X, Y, Z. In planar mapping, definitely, it is a plane, no? A plane will have always X and Y axis.
जेड
I,
एक्सिस भी दी है।
where? Where? Z axis was there? See, X and Y axis only. One
वो सर
minute.
मैंने ऑब्जेक्ट अनरैप किया था तो नॉर्मल एक्स एक्सिस से किया था, तो भी हुआ था।
No, means, whatever axis you are using really doesn't matter a lot. What is the final goal? If you are getting a proper flat plane, that matters. Okay, so if that is working for me, that's all right. There is no problem.
एंड सर व्यू पोर्ट, विच व्यू, साइड, टॉप, वो भी मैटर करता है।
Yes, that will matter definitely. So suppose for this plane and this plane, just try to understand like which side it is facing. It is facing towards the top, no? This particular plane. So if I project this particular plane from the side or from the front, then what will happen? I will get a line. But if I project it from the top, I can get a circle. I guess now you are getting the point, right?
यस।
Hmm. But you know what? For the bottom plane, I projected from the top. So definitely it is inverted. So for this, what should I do? I should flip it, isn't it? This is becoming red, means it is flipped. So I'll just flip it. And while flipping, remember one thing. Don't select the edges and flip it. Then all the faces will be separated. So always select UVs and then flip it. Okay. So now this handle is perfect. The UVs are perfect. No need to connect anywhere. If you want to connect, you can connect. So I can show you how to connect. If you want to keep the UVs together, that also can be done. So just selecting any of it, only one, okay, and move and see. Only one, not more than one. Remember, otherwise 1 second distortion will come. And for the top also, the same thing. Any one and move and see. Like this. Like this, it can be connected. If you reduce the number of UV shells. So this is entirely the handle. And you can see very nicely it is done, and there is no problem. There is no distortion, nothing. It's absolutely fine. Okay. Now let's come to this particular area. Okay. Let's check.
सर कल अनरैपिंग में मैंने मतलब यूवी डिस्टोर्शन मतलब रेड लाइन है ना, उसको मैंने फ्लिप कर दी थी तो सेपरेट हो गई फेसिस को सिलेक्ट करके, वो भी
Hmm.
चलेगा ना सर मतलब।
No. That is what I'm telling you. You have separated it. Separated means from here.
नो नो सर, मीन्स जैसे कि रेड फेसिस जो भी रेड कलर का पार्ट है डिस्टोर्शन
Hmm.
वाला,
Hmm.
उसको मैंने सेलेक्ट करके फ्लिप कर दी तो पार्ट सेपरेट हो गया, ऑटोमेटिकली सेपरेट हो गया, मतलब कट यूवी एज
If
हो गया।
you definitely, if you are going to flip it, it will be separated definitely. But my suggestion is that is a wrong process of doing it. If you want to separate anything, just select the edges and cut it.
नो सर वही पूछा था बिकॉज डिफरेंस क्या है?
No, Sagar, you are not audible.
नहीं पूछा मतलब सर कट एज में
No, still you are not audible, Sagar. Means you are audible but not understood.
तो मीन्स मैं पूछ रहा था कि सर फ्लिप करने में और कट ली हुई है जिसमें थोड़ा डिफरेंस है क्या मीन्स?
Definitely, UVs flipping the UVs means you are flipping the normals. So see, suppose in this area I want to flip this particular phase, then what will happen? Definitely, it will be disconnected from the entire surface. Without disconnection, it cannot flip itself. So this edge will come to this side, this edge will come to that side. That's how it will flip, right? But while cutting, so I want to cut this. So means what? I will select the edges and will use cut UV edge tool. The normal will become the same. The normal will not be flipped, but in flip, the normal will be flipped. So you will get a negative normal side. That, that's what we don't want. Okay. Now let's concentrate with this cylinder. So double click.
यस सर
Yes.
सर मीन्स कल मैं यूवी अनरैपिंग मतलब एक स्वॉर्ड बना रहा था उसके कर रहा था तो सर फेसिस उसमें सर कट करेंगे तो ज्यादा सीम्स आ जाएंगे इसलिए सर मैंने नॉर्मली फेसिस सिलेक्ट कर लिए क्योंकि वो इजी था और फ्लिप कर दिया तो सेपरेट भी हो गया मतलब अनरैप भी हो गया मतलब और वो भी हो गया सर।
No, fine. In one case it worked, but for every case it will not work like that.
मैं सर वही पूछा था वो राइट है कि नहीं?
Hmm. No, means ideally you should not do that. And I'm saying that. Okay.
यस सर
So how I am selecting the edges and cutting it, you should use this process. So okay, guys. So this is once again a cylinder. You can see a perfect cylinder. So in this also, I am separating this plane and this plane. So let's go to polygon and cut UV edge. Select the UV shell and keeping it aside. So you can see I'm keeping it aside and select this UV shell also and let's keep it aside. And this UV shell is actually the cylinder. Now here guys need to learn something. Okay. So in this also, definitely you can see I should do cylindrical mapping. So let's go to cylinder UVs and cylindrical mapping. I was assigned. Now the problem is, can you see? So first, what we do, complete it. Still, the problem is happening. Why so? Because the projection cylinder, the orientation is like this, but our model's orientation is like this. Guys, you understood the mismatch? All of you guys understood the mismatch? The orientation of the object and the orientation of the projection is different. You understood it or not? Right. Yes. So I also should rotate our projection. So what I'm going to do, can you see a small plus mark over here? I'm just clicking on it and I will get the manipulator of the rotation. So this rotation has to be 90 degree. So you can rotate it approximately or over here. Just check where it is changing. Over here, it should be 90. Okay. and you can see you are getting a perfect square shape, sorry, rectangular shape. Now over here, definitely the scaling is not correct. So orientation is correct now, but scaling is not correct. So what I'm going to do, in this case also, by selecting these two, how the last time I did, that could be done. But this time I am using this manipulator. Now it is all right. Okay, so this is done, and I'll just keep it aside. And I think these two are bottom planes, right? These two. Okay. Now in this case, let's go to the side view. Why side view? Because my planes are of this side. Okay. So go to UV and once again the same thing, planar projection. Sorry, planar projection. You can see I have done it. Click over here and okay, this is done. Only one thing, I'm selecting the UVs and let's scale it properly. So definitely if I reduce it over there, the scaling will come correct. Hmm. Okay, and I'm keeping it over here. All right. Now in this case also, two planes are there definitely. So going to the UV shell, select one, put aside, and this one because I projected from this side in this case, right? So this one basically you can see it is flipped. So what should I do? I'm selecting the UVs of the entire UV shell and flip. This is also done. Okay, so the entire part is also done. Please just give me 1 minute, okay? Hey guys, sorry for that. Okay, so this part we have done. So you can see the entire cylindrical part is done, right? So the handle is done and cylindrical part is done. Now the problem is the scaling of this handle and this cylinder is different, right? So what we are going to do, this part is already selected. Now I will try to match these two. So let's scale it down. If we will scale down the UVs, the checker boxes will become bigger. So the same thing I'm doing. So
सर लेआउट करेंगे तो भी यूवी शेल का तो प्रॉपर साइज आ जाएगी ना?
yes, yes. In 2019, in layout, if you are doing, it will automatically come. But once again, just to remind you, most of the things at the very beginning, when you were a student, definitely you are going to use layout. But before that, try to match it manually. It is a good practice. Understood? So how I am matching manually, try to match it before using the layout. In 2019, yes, automatically it will be done. But some cases, in my experience, the layout is not 100% perfect tool. Okay, so I have seen so many cases. Recently, I was modeling something and uh, I was unwrapping also the same object, and it didn't work. Layout didn't work. Most of the cases, 90% cases, it worked. But this particular case, it didn't work. So I needed to work manually. That is the reason I'm telling.
ओके सर। नो सर, बहुत सारे यूवी शेल्स रहते हैं ना, सेपरेट सेपरेट।
No, in this case also, my case also, you can see different UV shells are there, no, over here. But then also, I'm trying to match it manually because your concept should be clear. That is the very first thing. Because Maya will upgrade when after 5 years you will work in the industry. Maybe some new software will come, and there you will maybe you will not find the layout option specially. Then what you'll do? Because your concept is not clear, then you will find something like layout, you will find some plugin or something. So but if your concept is clear, there will be no problem. So okay, layout is not there, manually I'll do. Suppose you are doing an urgent project. In that case, that is the reason for each and everything, know the manual process also first. So once you know the manual process, and then you can use the tools available. You can use a plugin also when you will be working in the production. Most of the cases, you will be using plugins. So very quickly it will happen. Even for the UV unwrapping also, some plugins you can use. Auto UV unwrapping. Some plugins are there. Okay. I use sometime ZBrush UV unwrapping for organic models. So single click UV unwrapping is done. But I cannot rely on it because it is not 100% correct. 60-70% result it can give, but 30-40% error will be there in that. So you should know how to uh, how to make it perfect. Okay. So selecting the face. Now this side, this one, this is also a cylinder, right? So once again, going to UV and cylindrical mapping, and you can see here also this is looking problematic, right? The same problem. Our cylinder orientation is like this, and the UV projection is like this. So what should I do? Just selecting this, and I need to rotate it, and it's becoming clean. So let's make it 90 degree, and it is fine now. Same problem. So, so, 90 degree. And it is fine now. Same problem. So, 90 degree. And it is fine now. Same problem. So, 90 degree. And it is fine now. Same problem. So, 90 degree. And it is fine now. Same problem. So, 90 degree. And it is fine now. Same problem. So, 90 degree. And it is fine now. Same problem. So, 90 degree. And it is fine now. Same problem. So, 90 degree. And it is fine now. Same problem. So, 90 degree. And it is fine now. Same problem. So, 90 degree. And it is fine now. Same problem. So, 90 degree. And it is fine now. Same problem. So, 90 degree. And it is fine now. Same problem. So, 90 degree. And it is fine now. Same problem. So, 90 degree. And it is fine now. Same problem. So, 90 degree. And it is fine now. Same problem. So, 90 degree. And it is fine now. Same problem. So, 90 degree. And it is fine now. Same problem. So, 90 degree. And it is fine now. Same problem. So, 90 de Okay, now it is looking fine, but checker boxes, right? Scaling. Scaling is not clean. All right. So this is also fine. Just keeping it aside. So now my UVs are looking like this. These are all unwrapped. So all are unwrapped, and this is not unwrapped. So now this area. Now for this area also, uh, first of all, now this area is really complicated. Okay, so we don't know how to do it. So for this area also, it's better to divide the object into different parts. I feel so. So for this, what I'm thinking, if I can select from here, let's check if it is connected. Yes, it is connected. Okay, and let us use cut UVH. Going to the UV shell. For these things, these are very common objects to me. Okay, I know the result basically. Before doing it, I can imagine the UV shells just by looking at the object. But this, entirely I cannot imagine. So this is once again a kind of new shape to me. Okay, and just try to understand how I am analyzing the object. Okay, then it will be a little bit easier to you. Okay, here I can see a problem that when I am going to select the UV shell, I can see there are several UV shells and very small UV shells. Okay, I don't want that. First of all, let's convert it into one UV shell. How you can do that? Selecting all the faces, selecting all the faces, and let's do a planar mapping. Randomly planar mapping. Doesn't matter how is it looking. Okay, randomly, so that when you will select the UV shell, it is converted into one UV shell. This is what I wanted for now. Okay, now just double click on it. What I was doing basically, I selected this or I selected this. I guess I selected this, right? I feel so. I selected this. Yes. Okay. And then polygons and cut UV edges. Now select the shell, and this is nice. I have deselected these two. Now I can concentrate only on this, right? So what is this? This is just a cube, isn't it? This is just a cube. This part is a little bit extended. So what kind of mapping should I use for this? Tell me. You guys tell me. What kind of mapping should I use for this? That is just a cube. Definitely automatic mapping. Why so? Try to understand the reason. When you will analyze it, I'm going to the automatic mapping option box. So a cube is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 sides, and it is also will project from the 6 sides. It can be from 5 sides, 3 sides, 4 sides, 8 sides, but by default it is 6 sides, right? So let's project. Let's try to understand what's happening. Okay, it's projected nicely, but some parts it has created um, several objects. Okay, I understood the parts. It is giving problem, and for that, let's isolate it. Okay, so first of all, can you see the inside part? Inside part is also a cylinder, isn't it? And over here, the inside part is also a cylinder. So I just ignored it, but that is also a cylinder. So that we need to treat separately. Okay. So for now, I didn't do anything for that. Anyway, so this is the UV alignment. So selecting the UV shell, maybe this one, and from here to there, I'm just selecting. Uh, you can see all are perfect. All are perfect, right? This is a simple cubic shape. That is the reason. And what can be done in this case? So I'm selecting these edges, and you know what? This can be connected over here, right? So move and see. Okay. So there is no seam right now over here in this area. Now, similarly, I'm selecting this part, move and see. It also has connected. Our checker boxes are clean and there is no seam, right? Similarly, the bottom part also I need to connect either this side or this side, not both the sides, any one side. So, so let's select maybe this and this, and let's see. Okay, it also has come. That's fine. Now this side. So any one side we can concentrate, either this side or that side, right? Any one side we can concentrate. So let's select this side over here. So once you and in front this. So this I connected. So over here, this I am connecting. So let us check over here. You can see, and there is a possibility like it will be a little bit distorted. So instead of two, I am selecting only one in this case. Or you can select this also. Then there will be no problem. So this I am selecting. Yes, it is a better condition. Yes, so there is no distortion. So if I try to connect these two over here, then there can be a distortion. These two and this small one. This is a straight line, but here it is not a straight line. So there will be a problem. So now let's check if everything is perfect. And you can see everything is looking perfect. There is no problem. There is no problem. And I have converted this into one UV shell like this. Okay. So this portion is done. I'll check the scaling later on because scaling is not correct. Now this and this cylinder, two cylinders. So what I'm going to do, selecting all the faces. Okay, there is another part of it. There is another part of it inside this one. Okay, so before dealing with those two, let's separate this. Let's separate this, and I will just check if this can be connected together. Yes, you can see this can be connected from the center line. So let's see. Okay, and if this can be connected with anything, okay, this is the area, so this cannot be connected. with anything. So this is the area. You can see you cannot connect over here, right? So problematic. Definitely this area I have to keep separate. So let's keep it over here only. Not a problem. Now going to the cylindrical shapes. So selected all the faces in this area, and I am using a cylindrical mapping. Alright, let us check. It's fine. Scaling is not correct. So let's do it from here. Okay, now it is fine. Let's check the scaling a little bit. Should be smaller, isn't it? Trying to match the checker boxes basically. I guess it is all right. Yes, it is fine. Okay, so the cylindrical shapes are also done, but the problem is because those are the faces are inside and projecting from outside cylindrical shape. So what should I do? Selecting both, just flip it. Until unless it is becoming blue like this, it is not correct. Okay, so selecting these two and keeping it somewhere over here. Now let's go back. Check the scaling. You can see the scaling is mismatching, right? So selecting all the UVs over here, and let's something else is also selected. Yes, and let's make it smaller. Okay, now the scaling is correct. If you think properly, I took less time in modeling this hammer, isn't it? So, but UV unwrapping is taking so much of time. Some models it will be like this only, and some models UV unwrapping will be very quick, but modeling will take much more time. Anyway, like human head. So now these two things are remaining, this and this. So for this, what kind of mapping should I use? Just check the shape, guys. Tell me, what kind of mapping should I use? Any guess? Any guess? Planner. How come it will be planner? Just analyze it. So it is not a single plane, no? It is having one, two, three, four, a small one, five planes. So then what can be done? It is having five planes.
मीन्स उसके जितने भी साइड से उसको यूवी एजेस करके फिर प्लानर करेंगे.
That's a good idea. Can be done. Yes, in so many models we do that. So guys, I guess all of you understood what he's trying to say. The corner edges will cut and will select the individual side and will do planar mapping. Definitely that can be done. But this is a very simplified object. If the object is very complicated, small detailings are there, we have to do like that only. But in this case, that is not necessary. First of all, we'll try to do automatic mapping, okay? Because very limited number of polygons. As I always always told you that limited number of polygons, first try to do automatic mapping if the number is limited. So over here we are dealing with 28 faces. So let us check first with automatic mapping what's happening. Okay, so automatic mapping. So Sagar, what you were saying, don't you think that after doing planar mapping of individual sites, we'll get something like this only?
Yes, sir.
Hmm. So this is looking fine to me.
सर अगर कट यू गेज के प्लान मैपिंग करते हैं तो सर टेक्सचर में प्रॉब्लम आती है ना, मीन सिम्स दिखते हैं ना,
No, after that you need to work on it.
मीन सीव करना.
Hmm. So over here you can see it is almost looking fine, but there are too many officials. So I will just try something if it is working. Okay. So let us select this much. I'm not selecting this much. Then the distortion will come over here. So let us check if I can do move and save. All right, move and save. Let's keep it like this only. Okay, over here, let's do it in some other way. I wanted to connect like this. Move and save, and then move and save. Selecting entirely, and okay, now you can see the problem is in some areas distortion. It's not visible actually, but I know distortion is there. It's not visible. So anyway, we need to compromise a little bit for this area. Otherwise, we need to keep it separate. I can see overlapping in this area. So what my job will be, just select small area and going to unfold and legacy. Okay, apply and close. You can see it's getting better. So selecting G, selecting G. This area is all right almost. This area G, small areas. Okay, where you think like there is a problem, I can see overlapping in this area. So G, and it's getting better. You can see. So this area already unwrapped. So this area, okay. Now let's check. All right. So I will keep it like this only. So we'll keep it aside. I'm not scaling it right now because after doing this I'll do the scaling of that. So selecting the faces in the very same way and automatic mapping. Similar kind of UV shells we have got. So just select these three, move and save. Select these three, move and save. Now select these three, move and save. Okay, in this case also you can see overlapping over here. So unfold over here, unfold. I'm pressing G, unfold. The areas you feel like problem is there, just unfold it. So the end tip of it, is unfolded properly. So just take the areas you feel could be better. Okay, let us check the UVs. Okay, almost fine. Problems are there. This kind of objects a little bit out of linear shape, little distortion will be there. Like that is the human error. Cannot help. But we are converting into one UV shell. If separate UV shells, definitely there that will be perfect. But in that we need to compromise to make it one. And now let's do the scaling.
सर सेपरेट ल्यूमिनेसेंस रखेंगे तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है ना?
No, then unnecessarily there will be UV seam, no? Right now in this and in this there is no seam, only one seam. Over here also only one seam. Where? Over here, only one seam. But in that all the corners will be one seam. As I told you, we are having something last day I told you that, like we are having something called triplanar projection. So in that there will be no problem, to be very honest. How many UV shells you are keeping doesn't matter at all. Okay. So now we are having, you can see so many UV shells and all the scaling is correct. Individual parts are correct. So selecting all, and this is the layout option. Okay, layout UVs. So selecting it, and you can see the entire hammer is unwrapped and now it is ready for texturing. Each and every corner is ready for texturing. Okay, so but you can you see we are wasting some of the areas in this, so that's not accepted. Scale it up a little bit. This is what I was telling you, like we should not dependent on that layout button. Okay, I can see it it could be better. So selecting the UV shell and let's rotate it in this area and let's keep it. I'm just trying to use it perfectly. Okay, just trying to use it. UV shell over here. No, it cannot be over here. Small ones, you just keep it out. Anytime those main three uh, things we need to project basically. These two, these two. I thought those are one. Very, very nicely it was arranged. Okay, so these two. Okay, now this one. So just trying to use the enter space properly without wasting much UV space. Then you will get the full resolution. See how I'm trying to place it. Don't overlap anything, okay? While placing, don't overlap anything. I can see there might be no, there is no overlap. All right. See how nicely distributed. And this one, it is like a puzzle. It is like a puzzle. Or maybe I will just change the position of it. Maybe over here. Yes, this is the correct position. Perfect. Now these two, let us check. Perfectly kept. See how bigger I made it, but still I am able to arrange it properly. And this is what I was telling. Still I am able to do this. Yes. This is the perfect arrangement for the UVs for this particular object. Now I am not wasting too much of space. Still I am wasting. Over here I can see this area I am wasting. This area I am wasting. Okay, all these gaps I am wasting, but that is all right. That is understood. So this will be the unmapping. So now my model is ready. Picture. Remember one thing, after doing the unwrapping, you know what? If you go to channel box, can you see you have created so many input history for this object. So the object is very heavy now, though very simplified object, but the object is very heavy. Okay. So what we should do, just select the object, go to edit, delete by type, history. Now what will happen? There is no history. The object once again become light. Okay. Now one best practice, let me tell you, because after some days you are going to start your 3D project. So what is a good practice in each and every modeling after doing the modeling and unwrapping it? When the unwrapping is ready, what you have to do? Go to File, Export Selection. Go to the option box of it, and instead of my binary, select OBJ export. OBJ export, and just export it. So just write down hammer, and OBJ means object. As you are saving the object as object, not as Maya file. Like in Photoshop, PSD file is like Maya file. But when you are exporting as JPEG, then anytime you can just open it. That's just an image now. Okay, that's not a core file. So OBJ file we export in this OBJ. Just keep the model. So the model and the UVs will be intact in that. Sometimes the core file can be corrupted, but OBJ file will never corrupt. Remember this. Okay, if you think like some models, you have made it very nicely, and this is a good practice. After doing this, generally model will not corrupt, but this will corrupt in the core file. So you will see like all the UVs are jumbled up. Okay, so happens. I personally have experienced it so many times. So that will not happen if you have exported in OBJ to be safer side.
So texture will
Okay,
retain
so
means
UVs will return, not texture, not texture.
suppose texture you are sharing
Remember,
there
remember,
won't.
remember one thing. Yes, yes, I got your point. Suppose you have textured also this particular object. So you are having the texture map. And you know what, the texture map is there in your source images folder. So if the UVs are intact, then only your texture will work. Otherwise, your texture is not going to work because the placement will change later on. You cannot create the same thing once again. Do you think you will be able to make it once again? I cannot
Yes.
make it once again. When second time I will unwrap this object, maybe this I will attach somewhere else. This I will attach maybe over here in this edge. But I cannot create the exactly the same thing. Okay, there the problem is. So that is the reason in OBJ remember texture will not be there. And if you want to keep the texture also, then there is also one option. That is, instead of OBJ, you need to export in FBX. Okay, model, unwrapping, and texture also will be there in that FBX export. All right, that can be done. And if you cannot see that
Yes.
over there, yes. So what can be done? Go to Windows, Setting and Preference, and go to the Plugin Manager. And over here, you can see, let me check, OBJ export. Okay, if you cannot find it in the list, so make sure it is on. Both loaded and auto load, both are on. And if it is unchecked, then just check it. Okay. So this is it. This is how you should do unwrapping of the object. And this unwrapping is very, 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 very important. Last day you have written that why unwrapping is important. Without unwrapping, you cannot put texture on it. Without unwrapping, if it is a character, you cannot skin it properly. Skinning you have to do no after rigging. So you cannot skin it properly. So this hammer also can be uh, character. So what you can do, all of you are having this hammer model, right? Ask Kailash sir to show the rigging of this hammer as a character. So he will show you how to do it, how to do props rigging. Okay, so this hammer itself will be converted into a character and make a small nail and create a story of hammer and nail. Hammer is trying to nail it, hammer the nail. It is trying to hammer the nail, and the nail will always skip here, there, and he will never be able to do it. And then the nail, one close-up shot, nail is feeling very proud, like he cannot hit me. And then suddenly in a close-up shot, hammer comes and just nails it. Okay, so you can create something like that. So through small objects also you can convey your concepts. Okay, guys, all of you understood how to unwrap a complicated model? A little bit complicated model. This is not a complicated model. Little bit complicated model. All of you guys. Okay. Okay. Now tell me if you are having any problem. Otherwise, I'll move forward. I'll show you something else. Tell me if you didn't understand anything, you are facing any problem, you are having any problem, just let me know. In modeling or in mapping, anywhere, or in texture. No, no problem. Okay, fine. Then I should move forward. Now this time, let's take another object. Let's take another object. And this time, a little more complicated. Okay. Whatever we have modeled in the classroom. Let me check how the model was. Okay. Yes. The tree we have made. Suppose you want to unwrap this, then what? Very complicated object, isn't it? Can anybody guess what we can do for this object? How it is showing the UVs like this, and you can see how much distortion it is having. How much distortion, right? Very very problematic. And the UVs are showing like this. Cannot be. Never. Okay. Anybody can guess. Break into small cylinders. That's a good idea. Yes, can be done. Can be done. So first of all, just going to the front view or side view. This view is better. And let's do a planar mapping. Why to do a planar mapping? To convert the entire object into one UV shell. Okay, now you can see it is one UV shell. This is what I wanted. All right. Now, yes, what Sagar is suggesting, let's divide the parts into smaller pieces. Can be done. So what I'm going to do, display polygon texture border edges. Very important. Okay, before doing anything. Otherwise, the borders you will not be able to see. Selecting this part and cut UV edge. UV shell, keeping it aside. Now, definitely, this entire part is totally different. So, okay, cut UV edge. So, keeping it separate. So, these two are separate. Now, in this, let's keep it intact with this and let's separate this part. So this is fine. Already seam is there. 30 VH. Giving it aside. So this is the main branch now. Now in this also, and you see this is a very uh, tedious process, definitely. But at the same time, it is an opportunity for you. It is an opportunity in the sense, if you are working in the production and if you are good at it, you can have a job. Like you are very good in UV unwrapping, you can have a job. Okay, that's fine. Now, in this also the same thing we have to do. You can see,
See,
sorry.
separate UV and chemical job, right?
Yes,
Texturing part.
no, no, no. You can have a separate UV unwrapping job. Means in texturing department, uh, in texturing means in look development department, there can be separately who will be creating textures. That can be a different job. Mostly they will be painters who will be creating the textures. They will be painters. Like they should be able to paint, and at the same time, you can have like surfacing job who will create the material, will create only the materials. And there can be a UV unwrapping job in the same department actually. Like you should know all the three, but you can be specialized in this. And this is one job, the unwrapping job, and another one is surfacing job. So texturing will be creating the textures, surfacing will be creating the materials, and this is the unwrapping will be unwrapping the models. So it can be separate. Big productions, definitely these will be separated.
Surfacing and shading.
Shading, yes. Shading means you are going to create the material. Suppose there is a gold coin, so gold surface material you need to create, no? So you should know what will be the index of reflection of gold, how much reflectivity will be there, what will be the specular highlight of gold, what should be the color of gold. So you are specialized on that particular area, creating the material. So one person will be specialized in creating the texturing, painting the texturing. One person will be specialized doing the unwrapping. And some productions, if you are a modeling artist, you have to know the unwrapping because you have to only do it, the UV unwrapping thing. So some productions it is a modeler's job. Anyway, guys, now I'm going to show you a shortcut. This much is okay, right? All of you understood. I created different UV shells for each of the branches. Now doing cylindrical mapping, suppose for this, what can be the manual work? You cut it into three pieces. One, two. So this is one cylinder, this is one cylindrical mapping, this is third cylindrical mapping, and then move and sieve. Uh, the entire thing will be converted into one UV shell. I guess you understood what it just described. You need to cut the edges of this and this also, so that this is a different cylinder, this is a different cylinder, and this is a different cylinder. So do a cylindrical mapping thrice: first, second, and this is third time. Okay, so you got evenly distributed checker boxes. One, two, three UV shells. Now move and sieve. So convert it into one UV shell. So that is the manual process of doing it. So in this case, I am showing you a shortcut for this. Okay, so let's check. All the faces are selected. Going to polygons, and we are having one option called unitize. Okay, what the unitize will do, it will convert each face into one UV shell. I guess you can imagine I'm dealing with 205 faces now. In this, we are having 205 faces. And if I apply unitize, I will get 205 faces over here. And all are separated. Let's check. All are separate faces over here. You can see. All are separate. Okay. Now my job is I have to move and save each and every faces. So now you can see, now you can think, sir was telling about a shortcut, so actually showing a long cut. Okay, so actually it is a shortcut. Now let's check what can be done. I'm selecting. Uh, this selection is very important. Just try to understand, guys. Let's select a scene. This one is going towards this one, right? So this one, and let's continue. So I have decided my seam. This is going to be the seam. Okay. Now let us check the end part of it. End part of it. So I don't want this part to be a seam, but a little bit cut. In these areas, only two will be connected. So this will be the seam. After that, what I'm going to do, I'm holding Shift and toggle select. So what I selected, that became deselected and rest became selected. I guess you got the selection even over here, right? So now I am only dealing with this, so I don't want any selection over here. So holding control and deselecting all this. So only this part is selected, what I was selecting. But the seam I created, that is not selected. Okay. Now polygons and move and see. And you can see the UV shell. Okay. It is actually nicely done. And let's make it smaller.
Can you repeat the selection part after it?
Yes, I'll repeat because I need to do rest. No, so many times I'll repeat it. Okay. So just try to understand over here. Now the scaling definitely will not be correct. So you can see the checker boxes. Yes, we are getting checker boxes very close, but not 100% correct. I can see this area is so narrow, but over here the the width is too much, so it cannot be correct. So yes, it's not correct. So let's unfold it. So getting something similar. Can you see? Getting something similar. What I'm doing, pressing GG for. So yes, this is a problem. Don't select everything and unfold, then it's gone. Small part of it. Okay, small part of it. Let us check. How is it looking? At the bottom, yes, I can see a mismatch in this area. In this area, right? So for this, we are having something. Let me check. there used to be some tools. Yeah, this is the unfold tool basically. So what I'm using this unfold, here we are having the unfold tool. So like this, also you can paint. So the areas facing looking problematic will be fine. So let's select the entire bottom part and take this tool, and you can see it's becoming better. Okay, it's definitely better, but in this area I can see some problem. So we used to have, okay, optimize. How is it working? You cannot predict in which areas which tool can work for you. So we are having over here unfold tool, and we are having optimize tool. Even out, uh, optimize is to even out the UVs going out of space. That is the optimize tool. So I'm just checking it, and can you see, as an organic model, we are getting a decent result of UVs. Decent result of UVs. Okay, so this is one. But just imagine, guys, if you want to do cylindrical mapping, selecting small areas, then it will be too tedious for us, isn't it? So now this is all right. So I'm keeping one vision like this. Now let's go to the next. So another, let's take another complicated one. Maybe this is not complicated one. Maybe this one. Yes, let's take this one. Okay. Once again, doing the same thing. Just check it carefully. What I'm doing. Selecting everything. Okay, you guys will tell me what to do. I'll do it. I have selected the face. Then what? Then what? Come on. I just have done before some time. Cannot remember? Yes, unitize. So polygons, unitize. So all the faces are converted into separate faces. And then what should I do? I should select a seam out of it, isn't it? So for that, in this case, let's select this part. Okay, throughout, it has to be throughout. Okay, all right. Then what? Check the selection. You asked how to do it once again, so I'm doing it once again. So I selected one seam, then holding shift and drag selecting the rest. So what's happening? That particular part is deselected. So my job is to just to deselect it. By holding shift, I'm deselecting it. And then nothing to do with all this, right? So holding control and deselecting all this. So only that much part is selected. Now is it clear, guys? I guess now you can understand what's happening. So the next job is polygons. Move and see. I can see a problem over here. That is because of this top, I think. So because this time I didn't keep anything over here. Okay, let us check. So, much better now. And this is looking so amazing, the visual, isn't it? If you have experienced the tedious processes of UV unwrapping, after looking at the so clean UV shell, you will feel so happy. Okay, so let us check. We are getting, but the scaling is definitely not correct. So once again, small areas, just select the UV and unfold, and getting the shape of this. So work in small areas until unless that area is correct enough, don't move forward. Correct, right? This area. All right. This is a mistake. Okay, what I just did. So over here, bigger boxes are already correct. So if I am unfolding this, if I am unfolding this, so its scaling is mismatching now. So this scaling is already correct. So I should not do that. Avoid selecting the last stage. So if after unfolding, if you still feel like to unfold some of these areas, so you can just come to the unfold UV tool also and just can unfold it. But you have to remember how much sorry how much area is selected. You can unfold that much only. So the area is like that only, and that is the reason it is so much crowded. If it is necessary at all, in this case, it's not. Okay, so this part is also done. So you can see this part and this part is almost done. So similarly, I will come to the rest and going to use the same process basically. I will come to the individual shapes. First unitize, select the seam, deselect the seam, deselect rest of the parts, and then move and see. And then unfold. Okay, I guess you got the point. So any cylindrical object which is very complicated. Suppose you by extrusion and with the curve you have created a cable, and that is a twisted cable going here and there. You have created an interior scene, suppose. So how to unwrap it? This is the process to unwrap it. Okay, all of you understood, guys? Okay, selection still you are feeling a little bit tricky. The selection part, let me show you once again then. And this time, let's take this object. Vision. Always you should move forward from bigger to smaller. Okay. So first of all, unitize, unitize, and then you should select the scene. This I'm selecting a scene like this till the end, and as I did previously, select a few more till the end. All right, and then shift select that area so that the seam is deselected. I think so. Seam is deselected, right? Now deselect this. Okay, only this much. This much is selected. No, definitely. These are all separate. I want to move and save. Beautiful. You can see so clean it is looking. Now next job will be the select, unfold, unfold, unfold. So only one time I have given the unfold, but not again. So that is the outer edge. Not going to disturb it.
Sir, after selection, what you did?
Unfold, unfold by selecting move and save. After selection, I did move and save. After selection, I did move and save, and then unfold. Definitely, until unless you are doing move and save, it will the faces will not be connected together, no. So the basic concept is in the main in this. Okay, so all the faces and UVs are jumbled up. I want to unfold each face. So for that I am unitizing it. Now I need to stitch it back. So I need to select those edges so that I can stitch it, and that is the reason the selection is needed. So I just selected it and move and save. That's what I did.
Okay, sir. I thought mapping.
No, 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 not through mapping. I didn't use any mapping. Okay, guys. Now, before doing anything, let me take the attendance, and after that, we can discuss. It's 19.